All right, Mr. K here again. We're going to talk about two-wheeled vehicles, or dirt bikes, motorcycles, all that kind of stuff, mopeds. So we're going to talk about basic parts ID. What is everything? What do they do? A little bit about the controls and some maintenance, because that's probably what we care about the most. All right, go ahead, pause my video and watch this video at this time. Okay, you should have just watched that video. That gave you an overview of a lot of things on a motorcycle. So hopefully that made it a little more clear. But what do you guys need to know to service one? That's really what we want to figure out, is what do you need to know? Well, you're probably gonna have to know how to start it, and how to rev the engine up, how to warm it up, right? All that good stuff. So let's look at what your right hand does. Right hand's got a starter button. That's what he is pressing right there. Right hand's got engine stop switch, which is right there. Okay, that's run, that's stop. You've also got a twist throttle, right? How about the front brake? Left-handed controls, the clutch. But notice, not the rear brake, the clutch. Okay. You're gonna have a headlight switch, turn signal, and a horn, most likely all combined in one. But notice there's no switch to turn the headlights off. Why is there not a switch to turn the headlights off like on a car? Why is it that it's either brights or dims? Because just about every state in the US has some sort of law for daytime running lights on a motorcycle. So almost every state requires you to have daytime running lights on a motorcycle in some way, shape, or form. Notice Indiana requires it after a specific manufacture date. I don't remember that exactly what that date is. I think it's 1956. So if it's a motorcycle made after 1956, it has to have daytime running lights. But again, most of the only one that says no restrictions that I've noticed is Hawaii, Maryland, and Rhode Island. Looks like, to me, it looks like there are only 3 states that don't require daytime running lights on motorcycles. Most of them do in some way, shape, or form. So a lot of motorcycles can't turn the headlights off. All right, your left foot is going to have access to the gear shifter. Up to go up in gears, down to go down. At this point in time, go ahead and pause my video and watch this one. Okay, you should have just watched that video. Hopefully that walks you through a little bit about how the gear shifter works. Your right foot is going to access the rear brake. Right hand, front brake, right foot, rear brake. All right. If you're going to check oil on a motorcycle, there's a few different ways. This is probably a little more of an older way, a little bit outdated. Possibly smaller engine motorcycles would have this, but this is a way. Just a dipstick, just like a car. And it needs to be between the top and the bottom dot, right? Or if it's cross-hatching, it needs to be in the crosshatch. Don't forget, bike needs to be level or it won't be accurate. There's another method of checking oil. On this particular bike here, if I could focus in closely enough, I could check the oil from 10 feet away without even touching the bike. That is because right down in there is what's called a sight glass. And that sight glass, when you look at it up close, it's going to look like this. And all you do is check it. And you do have to have the bike level. So if it's on the kickstand and it's really leaned over, you need to fix that. You're probably going to have to hold it up by hand for a minute or have an assistant hold it up. But if it's level, you just look at it and it needs to be between the F and the L, the full and the low. And if it's between those two, you've got oil. Simple as that. Now, changing the oil. In a motorcycle, the engine oil is the same as the transmission oil. Okay, so that means the oil has to be kind of special. Can't just use regular automotive oil or diesel oil in a motorcycle. It's got to be motorcycle rated. like that, because it runs through the transmission also. And I'm not going to get into real in depth why that is, but motorcycle oil doesn't contain the friction modifiers of passenger car motor oil. So if you were to put regular car oil in a motorcycle, the clutch can slip because it's car oil is meant for an engine, not meant for the engine and a transmission. All right, curveball number 3. There are 2 oil filters in a lot of motorcycles. Where? One is often inside the drain plug, and that's called an oil screen. Okay, and it's going to look something like that. And that's going to catch the big chunks before they get into the oil pump and ruin it. And then there's also a filter like cars have, but go ahead and watch this video from 2:02 to 5 minutes to find that. All right, should have just watched that video. Hopefully you located the oil filter and the screen in that video. Okay, maintenance schedule for a motorcycle is going to be similar to a car. Spark plugs, air filter, right? Engine oil, brakes, clutch. But you notice there are some things that aren't on a car. Check the rear arm pivot. Okay, not on a car. Let's find something else that isn't. Check the steering bearings, the front forks, rear shock absorber, drive chain. None of that stuff's on a car. You got to check it on a motorcycle. So you got to pull up the maintenance schedule to figure all that out. Okay. This time, go ahead and complete your assignment on motorcycles. Have a good day.